Motivation is cocaine for civilians, feels good, fades fast, leaves you broke. In the sprint, we don't rely on feelings, we weaponize structure. The link is in the description below. So we have to understand that motivation highs kill progress. Motivation is a dopamine spike, nothing more. The crash creates loops of start and stop. Civilians keep waiting to feel ready. Listen, your motivation that you hear all the time on social media, on YouTube, on all platforms, even if you need to run to your friends to get motivation, it is a fucking dopamine hit. It is a stimulant. You are going to feel amazing in the moment. And as long as the motivation continues to come, you're going to continue to rise and go up and up and up and up and up. The second it stops, you come crashing down. It might not be immediate, right? It might be a few hours later. But the point of the matter is you shouldn't need anything to move. If we understand that you have to operate in a spiritual way to get a spiritual abundance, and then you have to execute in the material world to bring that spiritual abundance over, that execution can not only be executed when you feel motivated to do so. That's why a lot of you go up and down, up and down, up and down, and y'all go with the flow of life, which is positive and negative, and it goes back and forth, and you can never find neutrality because you have nothing to ground you and keep you sturdy. You just continue going and going and going and going and going and going and going. You're going up, you're coming down. You're going up, you're coming down. You're going up, you're coming down. Pick a fucking side. If you're always going to execute, then do so, but it needs to be grounded in structure. You are a masculine man walking around with masculine energy operating with feminine tendencies, which means that your entire masculine structure has a fuck ton of leaks in it, and you're always looking for someone to help you. That's not the case. Every man has to face his own soul at some point. You have to understand, okay, cool, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And these are the steps I must take in current time to get to where I'm looking to go, because the only thing that exists is right now. And therefore, you must operate as if you are already who you say you are, but you can't do it from a place of motivation. Because if I asked you, does your ideal identity that you, yourself, desire to be, do they use motivation to move, or do they just execute because they know they have to? They know they have to. The fuck? So structure beats feelings, right? Structure executes whether you feel it or not. Discipline stabilizes the nervous system's output, and predators don't care about mood. They care about momentum. So thoughts, feelings, actions create your reality. Right? So when you know that you have a structure that operates, you have the thoughts that are bringing you to where you want to go. But when those thoughts then meet your emotions don't sway the decision. The decision was already made when I assumed the identity that I was looking to be. Because I understand that every second of the day and every decision matters, because as I make those decisions, it's being pushed onto the field around me. The electromagnetic spectrum or the electromagnetic field around me. And those things then get reflected back to me. And you can't run from your own decisions, right? A lot of you make these hard ass decisions, right, that are not in favor of where you're looking to go. And then you try to run from the energy that was put out. You have to stand there and realize that the field is going to react back to you or reflect back to you the very decision and energetic signature that you gave it. And therefore, if you're looking to go somewhere, that energy needs to be in positive light towards the goal that you're going to. You can't just sit there and act like you can make these decisions off of these highs based upon motivation. Then you get into a lull. You get into a place where you have no motivation anymore. So you go spiraling down. And then while you're spiraling down, you're also making decisions based upon your mood. And then the realm just reflects back to you those decisions that you made in a negative light. And then worse, a lot of you get the energy back from the negative decision that you made, and then it forces you into another loop of making another negative decision because your emotions run you. You need to find a structure that allows you to operate whether you like it or not. You just do it. And you need to get accustomed to that, right? In yesterday's video, we talked about pain. You have to get familiar with pain. It is the best teacher. It is also the best way to figure out if you're going in the right direction. A lot of you have built up a life based upon emotional decisions, and then you get reflected back a version of your life that's based upon all these emotional decisions. You don't like it, but you continue the loop because it's all you know, and you don't want to confront discomfort. When in reality, when you start making good decisions based upon a sorry foundation, what do you think has to happen? The foundation must be dissolved, and then you have to create a new foundation based upon hard work and stripping away of the old. So the stripping away of the old is not going to be nice, especially if you've attached your identity to this comfort, this mediocrity. this softness, this feminine tendency. You need to get in the mindset of understanding that your structure is going to allow you to operate whether you feel like it or not. And the second you get acclimated with that understanding, you will get to where you want to go. But it requires you to do it over and over and over and over and over with no one to come over your shoulder and tell you, you should do this, you have to do this. Who the fuck are you? Like, do you need your mommy to tell you where the fuck you need to go, Jimmy? Do you need your father to kick your ass to get you where you need to go, Jimmy? Or can you just fuel yourself with the fire that you have within you to go forward? It's very simple. Stop running towards the comfort. Stop living in mediocrity. Stop sitting there in your life, in this cell, right? You're in a box and you don't want to get out because you don't know what's outside. Well, life starts when you walk outside. Stop watching the fucking news and do something with your life instead of just sitting there rotting away. Right? And worse, a lot of you, and this is on like a side tangent, a lot of you allow yourself to go into feelings about where you're going to go and think that you can do it alone. Your feelings are telling you, oh, I'm strong and mighty, and therefore if I conquer this thing alone, even if I'm suffering, it's better off. That's the dumbest shit in the fucking world. You're going to suffer to get to where you want to go and then end up not getting there because you realize at some point that you never had all the information that you needed to get there. And then what? You're just going to give up because your feelings are not, your feelings weren't exposed, right? You didn't expose yourself to actually understanding that your ego is stopping you from where you want to go. But that's a different conversation. We're not going to go down there. So you must build an anti-motivation system. You have to do 2 daily needle movers that are non-negotiable that move you towards your goal. You need a proof fucking engine that shows you that this is possible without motivation. Because when you start to realize that you can get to where you're looking to go without motivation, then guess what? Motivation is no longer needed because you've replaced it with your own understanding of how to operate without it. So you got to start to learn how to operate without a motivation. That system, those 2 things right there, create an accountability that turns pressure into consistency. When you start to do these things over and over and over and over and over, you're going to prove to yourself not only that you could do whatever the hell you set out to that you want to do, but now that motivation is nothing but a drug that you have to get off. And comfort is the very thing that people give you to make you feel better about motivation and keeping it in your life. The second a real human who is actually in the entrepreneurial space where you want to be tells you that motivation doesn't sit here and it doesn't actually last very long. You get all skittish because you've tied your identity and the way that you operate to motivation. You always need motivation. You need food, you need women, you need some sort of outcome because you've tied yourself to the fucking byproduct of the hard work. Proof is your motivation. So you need to see a little something to keep going. Instead of focusing on your vision, actually believing it and executing it when no one's watching. No wonder why you have fucking validation problems. And you always seek for people to validate your identity. You have an actual problem. And I bet you a lot of it is stemming from this fucking motivation that you keep holding on to. So you have to stop chasing these highs, build systems. So your closing decree. You must stop chasing highs and build systems. Consider yourself warned.